What's up guys, today I'm going to be talking about the top 10 teams that should have won the Champions League. Number 10, 1996-97 Juventus. After winning the 1996 Champions League final against Ajax, Juve were the most feared team in Europe and were one of the favorites to lift the trophy. Juventus were drawn in a group with Fenerbahce, Rapid Wien, and Manchester United. Juventus drew once and won 5 games. Juventus faced Rosenborg in the quarterfinals, drawing in the first leg. In the second leg, Juventus shut down Rosenborg 2-0 to face European rivals Ajax in the Champions League semi-finals. Juve beat Ajax in the first leg 1-2 and demolished them 1-4 in the second leg. Juventus were in the finals for the second year in a row. Juventus in the finals met Borussia Dortmund, who defeated Manchester United 2-0 on aggregate to qualify for the finals. It seemed like Juventus were going to be European champions 2 years in a row, but Karl-Heinz Riedel scored in the 29th minute to make it 1-0 for BVB. Then Riedel scored again in the 34th minute to make it 2-0. Juve were tactically outsmarted. In the 65th minute, Alessandro Del Piero scored for Juventus to make it 2-1. That wasn't enough, as substitute Lars Ricken scored a stunner 5 minutes later to make it 3-1 and end any hopes of Juventus coming back. Borussia Dortmund won their first Champions League trophy in an upset game. Number 9, 1998-99 Dynamo Kyiv. Dynamo Kyiv were drawn in a group with Lens, Panathinaikos, and Arsenal. Dynamo won 3 games, drew 2, and lost 1 to Panathinaikos. Dynamo finished the group stage first with 11 points. Dynamo were drawn with defending champions Real Madrid. Dynamo drew at the Bernabeu with Shevchenko scoring a crucial away goal. In the second leg at Olympic Stadium, Shevchenko scored in the 62nd minute and scored again in the 79th minute to knock out defending champions Real Madrid out of the Champions League. Dynamo faced Bayern Munich in the semi-finals. Dynamo scored 3 with Shevchenko scoring twice in the first half, but that wasn't enough as Bayern also scored 3. The tie was settled in Germany with Mario Basler scoring the game winner to knock Dynamo Kyiv out of the Champions League. Number 8, Valencia, 1999-00. Valencia were drawn in a group with Rangers, PSV Eindhoven, and previous season finalist Bayern Munich. Valencia finished first with 12 points, 4 points ahead of Bayern Munich. Valencia drew 3 and won 3 on their way to the second group stage. Valencia were drawn in a group with Fiorentina, Bordeaux, and Manchester United, losing twice to Manchester United and Fiorentina. And Valencia finished second behind Manchester United. Valencia faced Lazio in the quarterfinals. In the first leg, Valencia scored 5 on Lazio in a 5-2 game at the Mestalla. In the second leg, Lazio defeated Valencia 1-0, which meant that Valencia were on to the semi-finals. In the semi-finals, Valencia faced Barcelona. In the first leg at the Mestalla, Valencia traced Barcelona 4-1 and lost 2-1 in the second leg to meet league rivals Real Madrid in the final. In the final, Real Madrid smashed Valencia 3-0 to lift the Champions League trophy for the 8th time. Number 7, Juventus, 1997-98. After losing the final the season before to Borussia Dortmund, Juventus were hungry to win the Champions League. Drawn in a group with Feyenoord, Colchis, and Manchester United, Juve finished second with 2 losses and 1 win. Juventus were drawn with Dynamo Kyiv in the first leg. Juve drew with Dynamo 1-1 in Turin. In the second leg in Kyiv, Juventus tore Dynamo Kyiv apart in a 1-4 win to send Juventus to the semis. In the semis, Juventus faced Monaco. In the first leg, Juve defeated Monaco 4-1 with Del Piero scoring a hat-trick. In the second leg, Monaco defeated Juve 3-2, but that wasn't enough as Juventus were on to the finals. For the 3rd year in a row, Juventus made it to the finals. Juventus lost to Real Madrid 1-0 in the final. Number 6, 2003-04 Real Madrid. With a star-studded lineup including Roberto Carlos, Raul, Luis Figo, Zinedine Zidane, David Beckham, Ronaldo, and others, Real Madrid were the favorites to lift the trophy for the 10th time. Real Madrid were drawn in a group with Partizan Belgrade, Marseille, and Porto. Real Madrid lost none and won 4 to end the group stage first with 14 points. Real Madrid were drawn with Bayern Munich in the round of 16. In the first leg, it was a draw with Roberto Carlos scoring a crucial away goal. In the second leg, Zidane scored the game winner in the 32nd minute to send Real Madrid to the quarterfinals. Real Madrid faced Monaco in the quarters and defeated them 4-2 in the first leg. In the second leg, Raul scored in the 36th minute. Ludovic Gulli scored a brace for Monaco to lead 2-1. And Real Madrid's lone player Fernando Morientes scored to send Monaco to the semi-finals and knock out Real Madrid on away goals. Number 5. Chelsea, 2008-09. Chelsea were one penalty kick away from winning the Champions League, but John Terry slipped and lost the chance to give his team their first Champions League trophy. Chelsea were drawn in a group of CFR Cluj, Bordeaux, and Roma. Chelsea lost once to Roma and won 3 all at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea finished second behind Roma with 11 points. Chelsea were drawn with Juventus in the round of 16. Drogba scored the game winner in the 12th minute at Stamford Bridge. In Turin, Juventus drew with Chelsea to send Chelsea to the quarterfinals. Chelsea were drawn with Liverpool. In the first leg at Anfield, Ivanovic scored twice and Drogba scored with Liverpool only scoring once to make it 1-3 to Chelsea. In the second leg, Chelsea and Liverpool scored 4 each with Lampard scoring a brace to make the aggregate score 7-5 Chelsea. Chelsea went on to the Camp Nou to face Barcelona. Chelsea held on to a goalless draw to make the game at Stamford Bridge a must-win game. Michael Esswein scored in the 9th minute to give Chelsea the lead and the tie. Chelsea during the game had 4 penalties not called for them, the referee being called out by the players. In the 93rd minute, Andreas Iniesta scored the only shot on target for Barcelona to send Barca to the Champions League final and Chelsea out of the Champions League. After the game, Didier Drogba called out the referee after the game saying, Number 4. Manchester United, 2006-07. Manchester United faced Celtic, Copenhagen and Benfica in the group. United lost to Celtic and Copenhagen and won 4 games, and they finished first with 12 points. United were drawn with Lille. Ryan Giggs scored the winner in the 83rd minute. United finished the tie at Old Trafford with a Henrik Larsson goal in the 72nd minute to face Roma in the quarterfinals. Roma defeated United 2-1 at the Stadio Olimpico. In the second leg, United scored 7 to leave Roma in their trail, with Michael Carrick and Ronaldo scoring braces to send United to the semi-finals. Manchester United faced AC Milan at Old Trafford in the first leg. Ronaldo scored in the 5th minute, but Kaká scored a brace in the first half. Trailing 1-2 in the 60th minute, Wayne Rooney scored to make the game level at 2-2. In the 91st minute, Rooney scored to give United the advantage. The next game at the San Siro saw Milan score 3 in a 3-0 victory to knock United out of the Champions League. Number 3. 2011-12 Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich finished 3rd in the Bundesliga and had to play in the playoff round of the Champions League, where they met Zurich. A goal from Bastian Schweinsteiger in the 7th minute and Iron Robin made the game 2-0. In the second leg, Mario Gomez scored in the 7th minute the game winner, which ended any chance of Zurich making a comeback. Bayern Munich were drawn in a group of death with Villarreal, Napoli, and Manchester City. Bayern won 4, draw once to Napoli, and lost once to Manchester City. Bayern Munich finished first with 13 points. Bayern were drawn with Basel. Basel defeated Bayern in Basel. Bayern responded in the second leg with a Robin brace, a Muller goal, and 4 goals from Mario Gomez to make the tie 7-1 on aggregate. Bayern were drawn with Olympique Marseille in the quarterfinal. In the Stade Velodrome, Bayern Munich scored twice with Mario Gomez and Iron Robin being the goal scorers. In the second leg at the Allianz Arena, Ivica scored twice to make the score 0-4 on aggregate. Bayern Munich were drawn with Real Madrid in the semi-finals. At the Allianz Arena in the first leg, Frank Ribery scored in the 17th minute to make it 1-0 Bayern, but Mesut Ozil made it level in the 53rd minute. Tied in the 90th minute, Mario Gomez scored a vital game-winning goal for Bayern Munich. In the second leg at the Bernabeu, Cristiano Ronaldo scored in the 6th minute to give Real Madrid control of the tie, but Bayern conceded a penalty in the 13th minute. Ronaldo converted the penalty and made it 2-0 and 3-2 on aggregate. Arjen Robben converted a penalty in the 27th minute to make it level on aggregate and away goals. Ramos missed a vital penalty for Real Madrid, and Schweinsteiger ended the shootout with a successful shot, which sent Bayern to the final. Bayern Munich met Chelsea at the Allianz Arena in the Champions League final. The game remained level until the 82nd minute when Thomas Muller scored a header. Bayern were getting ready to celebrate until Didier Drogba scored in the 88th minute. The game went into extra time when Drogba conceded a penalty. Robben's penalty was saved by Peter Cech. The game eventually went to penalties. Juan Mata's penalty was saved by Neuer, and Bayern were 3 for 3 until Olig's penalty was saved, and Schweinsteiger's penalty was saved. Drogba won the game for Chelsea in Bayern's own stadium. It was a miracle that Chelsea even made it this far, yet they won the Champions League. Number 2, Borussia Dortmund, 2012-13. Borussia Dortmund were running rampant in Germany, but were not doing so well in Europe. Dortmund won 4 of their games and drew 2, with one of their wins being against Real Madrid. Dortmund finished first in the group stage and advanced with 14 points. In the round of 16, Dortmund faced Shakhtar Donetsk. In the first leg, Shakhtar nearly came out with a win, but Mats Hummels scored in the 87th minute to make the game 2-2. In the second leg, Felipe Santana, Mario Götze, and Jacob Blaszczykowski scored in the 3-0 victory for Dortmund. Dortmund met Malaga in the quarterfinals, with the German holding on to a goalless draw in Malaga. In Dortmund, Joaquin scored an away goal for Malaga in the 25th minute. Robert Lewandowski equalized in the 40th minute. The game remained tight until the 80th minute when Eliseo scored for Malaga, which basically meant that Malaga were on to the first semi-finals. But Borussia Dortmund didn't give up, and Marco Reus scored to make the game 2-2. But Dortmund had to score another to ensure qualification to the semi-final. Santana scored a historic goal for Borussia Dortmund to send Dortmund to the semi-finals. Dortmund were drawing with Real Madrid. In the first leg in Germany, Robert Lewandowski scored a goal in the 8th minute to give Dortmund the lead, but Ronaldo equalized right before halftime. Lewandowski scored another goal in the 50th minute to give Dortmund the lead again, and then Lewandowski scored a bomb to make it 3-1 for BVB. 11 minutes later, Xabi Alonso followed Marco Reus in the penalty area to give Dortmund the penalty. Lewandowski scored the penalty to make it 4-1. Lewandowski became the first player to score 4 goals against Real Madrid in a Champions League game. Lewandowski's market value went up the sky after this game. In the second leg at the Bernabeu, Karim Benzema scored a goal in the 83rd minute to start the comeback for Real Madrid. Then 5 minutes later, Sergio Ramos scored to make it 2-0 for Real Madrid and 4-3 on aggregate, but Real Madrid didn't score that one goal. Borussia Dortmund were on to the Champions League final. In the final, Dortmund faced domestic rivals Bayern Munich, who eliminated Barcelona 7-0 on aggregate to get to the final. Dortmund started the game off strong with shots at goal, but were stopped by Neuer. In the 59th minute, Arjen Robben assisted Mario Mandzukic for the first goal of the game. Dante conceded the penalty in the 67th minute by kicking Marco Reus in the stomach. İlkay Gündoğan scored the penalty to make the game level. Just when it was looking to go to extra time, Arjen Robben scored the game winner in the 89th minute to give Bayern their 5th Champions League. Number 1, Arsenal, 2005-06. Arsenal were drawn in a group with Thun, Sparta Prague, and Ajax, with Arsenal winning 5 and drawing 1 against Ajax. Arsenal finished the group stage with 16 points. Arsenal were drawn with Real Madrid, with the first leg being at the Bernabeu. Thierry Henry scored a vital goal in the 47th minute, which was the game winner. At Highbury, Real Madrid were held to a goalless draw by Arsenal, which meant that Arsenal were on to the quarterfinals. Arsenal shut down Juventus 2-0 in London and held on to a 0-0 draw in Turin. In the semi-finals, Kolo Touré scored the only goal in the tie against Villarreal, which meant that Arsenal were on to the finals. Arsenal faced Barcelona in the finals. Goalkeeper Jens Lehmann received a red card in the 18th minute, which put Arsenal a man down. Sol Campbell scored a goal for Arsenal in the 37th minute. In the 61st minute, Barcelona subbed in Hendrik Larsson. 16 minutes later, Larsson provided an assist for Samuel Eto'o, which made the game level. 4 minutes later, Larsson assisted Giuliano Bellotti for a goal, which made the game 2-1 Barcelona. Arsenal failed to score a goal in the time that was left, which meant that Barcelona won their second European Cup. I hope you liked the video. Please like, share, and subscribe.